Hello and welcome to another episode of Model Restorations. I want to actually put a roll bar in here, so we're going to build it ourselves. So what I'm using is this 1/8 inch rod, and you want to make sure that you get the solid rod like this. If you get the hollow rod, and you try to bend it, it will actually kink the corners. Where this 1/8 inch solid rod, you can actually bend with your hand, which is awesome. You can apply heat if you want, or you can just apply it like it is. So what I'm going to start with is I know that I want the roll bar to go through here, right there, and then I'm going to have it come up and down into the parcel tray in the back. Do is follow this contour here. And what we're going to want to do is that, so you're going to have a vertical one here. This is going to come up like this. You're going to have a hoop here, and then this will come forward and probably right into the dash, right on the corners here, right here, and that's going to come down through the dash, and then of course we'll have the corners here and the corner there. What I'm going to do next is we're going to go ahead and start. I want to measure the roof, so I know that this loop needs to come on the inside right here. Make sure that you get it, kind of go like this and get enough past it so that you can bend that piece. And then you can actually bend this with your hand, and you want to go kind of slow. Don't go too fast because it will break. But you can kind of put your finger right where your mark is and just slowly bend it like that. And then we'll do the other side. I used to use heat, and then I realized I could bend it with my hand, and as long as you go somewhat slow, you'll be fine. You're not going to break it. Okay, so we got our initial hoop. If I look at this like that, that's perfect, I think. So I'm going to take that, just kind of bend it in just a little more, and then I want to make sure I get the other side the same. So if that's like that, the shape that we want, let's push that up in there, and you can see that follows that contour really well inside. So that's what we want, because you want to make sure that you're not just bending it straight up and over, because what will happen, this is just a basic bend, and what will tend to happen if you don't put that little bend in it is the roll bar will come up and it will almost be like sticking out the window. Obviously not what you want. So here, let me show you that again. So you can see right where that bend is, it kind of sticks out the window right here, and that's what you're trying to avoid. So what I'm going to do now is clip this, and it's going to be long, and I'm totally okay with that. Drill a hole in the base here, and then I'm going to slip this through, and what that allows me to do is to adjust the height up and down based on where my roof is. Now is adjust it. You could slip it back up into the body, through the bottom like this, perfectly fine, and you can see I've got this nice bend in it. I'm a little off, so what I can do is just push it up this way. So this is going to be a little loose in here, and that's totally fine, because what we'll do is once we get this other bar in here, that's going to kind of bring this back like this. So now I've got the height I want. You can kind of see it in there. It's just barely off of the roof line, which is perfect. What I'm trying to do right now is just kind of hold this in place, because I don't want to cut these off yet, because I want to be able to adjust them still, but I need them to hold in place somewhat. So now that I've got that, add just a little clip here, And that way I know what I can do now is I'll snip these right there. That allows me to do now is just kind of set it on the ground. We need this one to come forward like this, and then we want it to drop down here somewhere and drop into that. So what I'm going to do is take the body again, and I'm just going to kind of, I know this is too long, but I know I need to bend it there. So what I'll do is just start to bend it and kind of get this. I want it to align with that A-pillar. Perfect. Is basically that scenario right there. But I know it's too long, so what I'm going to do is drop it back here. But I know that this A-pillar is, I'm sorry, the angle is going to match the A-pillar. So what I'm going to do now is drill a hole in the dash, drop this into the dash, and then that'll allow me to kind of move it back and forth and see how long I need it. So on this one, I'm actually going to bring it back just slightly because I know since this roll bar is at an angle. Okay. Now what we've got here is stick that through there. So what I'll do is trim some of this off. I don't want to go too low. You can see. So I'm going to go past it where I think it needs to be just a little bit. And then you got to remember that A-pillar kind of comes up like this. So it's not going to be perfectly straight. It's actually going to be at a slight angle. So you see, I think I'm a little too high on the A-pillar. So I'm going to pull this back out. And that's a little better. And that's kind of what we're going for right there. So I need to pull this out again and bend this just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and mark this right here. Now, if I get this wrong up here, the nice thing is I can still kind of move it up and down. And then I'm going to cut this right at that mark. And what I'm going to want to do is put a little, on this end, I want to put a little bevel in it. Just because I know I'm going up against the round roll bar here. So it needs just a little tiny indent in here. And a lot of times you can just do that with your hobby knife. It doesn't take much. Just to give it a little finer fit. You can also use your drill like this. And just kind of go back and forth.